Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga has told guests at the Free State Matric Prayer Service that her portfolio is one of the toughest to manage. She says that the province has laid robust systems that have raised the bar in education. Motshekga and Free State Premier Sisi Ntombela are among the leaders at the Free State's Matric Prayer Service in Qwa Qwa. Over 1,000 matric pupils from 6 schools in Phuthaditjhaba have been invited to join the service. This is in preparation for the final exams expected to start on the 25th of October. We're now joined via Zoom by Professor Elizabeth Henning, the Director of the Centre for Education Practice Research at the University of Johannesburg. Prof, a warm welcome to you. Thanks very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Good afternoon.
Well, I mean, apart from their spiritual intervention that the students are seeking, let's talk about the sort of support that these matriculants need in order to prepare and get through these very crucial exams.
Well, the first support from the point of view of someone who has also brought up children and have had 2 girls in matric way back.
Yeah.
The family and the people at home, whoever they may be, need to understand that this young person is going through a ritual, a type of rite of passage, and that they need love and care and good food and enough opportunity to sleep and to rest. That's the first base of support, the people right there at home. And if possible, if they can help, if there's no electricity, and they can in any way help to provide light early in the evening, but also be quite firm about advising these young people to have enough sleep. So that's my second port of call is if you don't sleep enough, your brain doesn't have the opportunity to process what you've been studying during the day. And it's a 24-hour cycle. So every night they have to go to bed early. And I may add that to get into the habit of going to bed earlier than one would normally is to start right now, not on the 30th of October, but now, so that the body can get into a rhythm of sleep, and so that you can wake up not just refreshed, but ready to explore and explain what your brain has processed during the night. It's important to sleep.
You know,
that's the first one.
The students are also dealing with, some external factors that are, out of their control. I mean, issues like studying and, getting enough sleep, all of that, that's really very much in their own control. But, we're also dealing in the country with things like load shedding. And these are very problematic for people, who want to study throughout the evening, getting ready for an exam the following morning. I mean, how do you sort of navigate through, the normal challenges of matric, which all of us, as you say, is a rite of passage that we've gone through, but we never had to deal with things like load shedding and also, the effects, the long-term effects that they no doubt still feel now that were caused by the pandemic.
Indeed. And I must tell you, not only matriculants, but all of us have had to make such big mind shifts. And I think these young people are probably more resilient than people like myself, who have really found the effects of load shedding quite hard to deal with and have had to make many adjustments. But I'm lucky because I can buy an inverter. Yeah. But what I would like to say to these young people, you have to know that there will be these type of obstacles. And through experience in our country, one has learned to be upset about it, but also to deal with it. And I think if we give them the opportunity to say, this is hard, but I know that you can deal with it because we have no choice and we've learned how to do it. And I must also say, in terms of the pandemic, I mean, the learning loss, not just of the matriculants this year, but of all people in school and at other institutions and in the workplace, we've lost a lot.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot, but I must also say I'm not entirely optimistic. I'm quite a realist, I think. But at the same time, we've also gained a lot. We've learned so much of the tiny tools of resilience, what to do when this goes wrong, and it's usually unexpectedly. I mean, apart from the fact that there are load shedding schedules, it also happens that things break down and that things go wrong. And I have a suspicion that the matriculants of this year may have more resilience than those of 5 years ago, because they've had to learn in the most challenging conditions.
Yeah.
So I'm reasonably optimistic.
Yeah, and you know, the Minister Angie Motshekga said, you know, while addressing these students at that prayer session, that you know, the Education Department and herself have led robust systems that have raised the bar in education. Some might argue with that. What do you make of that statement by the Minister?
I think the system is incredibly robust. There are all these exam centers, there's Umalusi, there are these papers that have been evaluated, there are going to be these people who are the markers. So the system itself is robust. And if I were the Minister of Education, I wouldn't dare to say that we will not raise the bar. That is Ms. Motshekga's job, is to say we're trying to do better. And you know what? I think many teachers and many young people have already lived that message. They really have tried harder than usual, because life is so much harder than it used to be. So I agree with Minister Motshekga, and I actually salute her for that she reminds us that we want to raise the bar, and that the Education Department, the National Education Department, of course, has tried its utmost. But the real secret lies in the school, with the teachers. What did they do to raise the bar? Because if you lift a bar and you are a system, a big education system like ours, with all our millions of young people in school, that's one part of it. But the other part of it is what happens on the ground, in the classroom, with individual young people, individual teachers, and the school's management system. I think when you talk about raising the bar, it is about having the assurance of people on the ground that they are also trying to raise the bar. And it's surprising to see where these bars, different provinces, different circuits, different areas of the country, how they are raised exactly by these people on the ground, by the teachers.
Yeah.
And that's I think where the crux of the matter lies in terms of getting better results.
All right, Prof, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for giving us your time. That is Professor Elizabeth Henning, who's Director of the Centre of Education Practice Research at the University of Johannesburg.